Welcome, collectors. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Diecast Emporium. The spin table is out, so you know things are about to get real. In this year-end Diecast Emporium video, I want to show off all of the Diecast Masters Caterpillar 1/64 scale models that have been released to date. If you are a fan of 1/64 scale CAT models, or really 1/64 scale models in general, there is a lot to look forward to heading into the coming year. So you've already seen some of the images, I'm sure, if you follow me on Instagram or if you follow Diecast Masters on their social media sites. There's definitely a handful of 1/64 scale products that have been announced that are coming next year. So again, can't build up the hype enough. There's a lot to look forward to in 2021 and beyond. But let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. Let's take a look at what is already available. So let's take a look at the two skid steers first. Specifically, we have the 272D skid steer loader and the 297D multi-terrain loader. So these actually came in a box or a set together. You can still get them that way. And they came with a bunch of attachments. So this is the standard bucket that comes with both, but there's also a sweeper or a brush. There's an auger attachment, and there's pallet forks. So a lot of posing and collectible value with this set. And again, when this was released, and I believe the price has not changed, to my knowledge, it's still $20 for two models and the attachments. It's a great set to have, and again, they pose well in all different construction applications. All right, let's move on. By the way, there's really 12 sets, 13 total models if you separate the two skid steers and count them individually. And they were released in 3 different waves, if you want to use that term. So we'll go over the first wave first. Here is the 950M wheel loader. Again, a very posable, very functional, realistic-looking 1/64 scale casting. And if you have, obviously, different dump trucks in 1/64 scale, towards the end of this video, you'll see that it poses well with the CT660 with Ox Stampede dump truck. The two are a match made in heaven. Lots of detail on this, as I mentioned, and I'll just show you some of the functionality. You can see that it goes up to a pretty decent height, and the bucket will dump to a reasonable dump angle. Again, things sometimes can be a little bit restricted in 1/64 scale, but overall, it's a very nice representation of the 950M. All right, the next release was the Caterpillar D6R XL Bulldozer, or track-type tractor. Again, you have a functional blade, functional ripper. Demonstrate that now. Blade goes up, tilts forward, and you can pose your ripper down slightly below or in the raised and out of service position. The tracks are rubber and will move if you move them with some care. And just like the other models, it poses very, very well. So we've seen skid steers, we've seen a wheel loader, we've seen a bulldozer. Naturally, in the progression of things comes an excavator, and it's the 320FL. I think this was the perfect size excavator and perfect choice to complete the first, again, I'm going to use the word mix, or first set that was released early on. Once again, rubberized tracks that can be made to roll with some care, but again, you want to be very careful with it. But what works great is all the functionality of a larger scale excavator really has been replicated quite well in the smaller 1/64 scale. It does rotate 360 degrees, and because the cylinders are very, very stiff, any position, it will hold. And again, this is another model that poses very well with the CT660 dump truck. So that completes the first set. Let's go ahead now and take a look at the second release of the Diecast Masters 1/64 scale CAT models. All right, first up came the 775E off-highway truck. As you can see here, we're getting into the larger 1/64 scale range. These models obviously are intended for some pretty heavy-duty construction, whether it be mining or quarry operations, or obviously some extreme heavy-duty construction. Very functional model. Dump height, excellent, and as you can see, steering has been molded to work. You have even your lights on the side of the cab that have been molded in and work well. Decals are nice and crisp. You have your exhaust over here and a mirror with a silvered surface. If you'd like a closer look at any of these 1/64 scale models that I'm going over in this very brief recap video, again, consult the links that you've probably already seen at the top of this video. Those are suggested links, and they will take you to a more in-depth review of each of these so you can get a closer look and check out the more minute details and features of all of these models. So that's the 775. Next up, we have the CAT 988H wheel loader. Also a very functional model. The height is very good. It is high enough to clear the 775 if you wanted to pair the two together. The dump angle is also very good. And it will articulate across the center pivot joint, just like you would expect any wheel loader model to do. So the 988H passes in every aspect that we use to review wheel loader models. All right, next up. This is another excavator, but a much bigger excavator than the 320 we saw previously. This is the 385CL. So this has a cab protection guard on it. And also, once again, we're sticking with rubber tracks. We do have some nice warning decal labels all over these models. All of them, not just this excavator, feature warning labels. But once again, because the cylinders are metal, you can achieve a very good range of motion, and it will even dig way below itself, as you can see here. And in fact, it's so good that it even stopped the spin table. So there you go. Curl it in for a transport load. That's the 385C. Now, a late addition to what I consider the larger 1/64 scale CAT product range was the 611 wheel tractor scraper, which we just recently saw released towards the end of the year. Now this scraper, the bowl can be made to raise and lower. Right now it's obviously lowered. As you can see, I'll let it spin around. But if you allow me just a minute. Now, as you can see, it's in the raised position. Also, this model does feature the era of the Power Stripe graphics with the 611 right there, Power Edge. And none of these 1/64 scale CAT models have the Diecast Masters operator figure in the cab. So that's the 611 scraper. Okay, let's take a look at the most recent additions to the 1/64 scale Diecast Masters CAT product range. These all are very, very new releases. This is the CAT CB13 roller. Now, two versions were released. You have the enclosed cab right here. This is more of a, let's say, European-style roller. You don't typically see enclosed cabs here in the United States very much. And this is the ROPS version, which you do see very often here in the United States. Fantastic rollers. They look great. They even have the little small wheels on the edge. You can articulate these. And the drums are heavy enough that you can spin them and roll them, as you can see here. And it's really, really good to see a previously 1/50th scale model that now, in essence, has been casted down to 1/64 scale. Now, what I would personally like to see is a asphalt paver and a coal planer to complement the paving sector of 1/64 scale models, because to date, a paver and a coal planer has never been done by anybody that has held a CAT license in 1/64 scale before. NZG's never done it, Joel's never done it, Norscott's never done it, so we'll see. But these rollers are spectacular. Okay. Next up, we'll take a look at the aforementioned CAT CT660. This was the first Diecast Masters model to feature a licensed dump box. This is the Ox Stampede dump box on it. Not only does it have a licensed dump box, but obviously the CT660 cab is licensed. What's a really cool hidden feature on this model that I didn't even know until I got it was it comes with a couple different sets of mud flaps. One set has CAT on it. The other has the Ox Stampede logo, so you can switch those out if you want. The functionality of the dump box is very good, so you can pose the truck dumping if you want. Alternative posing opportunities include posing it with the 950M, which, as you can see, the arms lift plenty high enough to get over the side, and also posing it with the 320F. All right, let's conclude the video with the other CAT CT660 model released, and that is the CAT CT660 with McNeilus mixer model, or mixer body on it. Again, a very detailed and nice model, because not only does it feature a lift axle, but it features a ladder, a drop axle at the rear, and some fold-down extension chutes on the main concrete chute itself. So, there you have it, collectors. That is, or those are, to date, every single Diecast Masters Caterpillar 1/64 scale model that's made. As I alluded to it in the beginning of the video, there is a lot coming in 2021 that will increase and only add to this product line, let's say, in 2021. So make sure you stay tuned. A lot of fun stuff coming. This line is definitely not slowing down by any means. As always, I'm Tommy with Diecast Emporium. Thank you all so much for watching. Have a happy holidays, and I'll see you in the next review.